and welcome back to Speedy Japanese. This is Hiragana Lesson 3. In the last 2 days we've covered a number of principles relating to how to write, read and remember basic hiragana characters. And in Lesson 1 we took care of our vowels, a, I, u, e, o. And then in Lesson 2 we took care of the K line and the S line. So today, as you can see up on the screen in front of me, we're going to be working on the T line and the N line. The T line has a few of the exceptions in hiragana. Usually you can see the prefix remains the same for all sounds and syllables. However, in the T line we've got two exceptions. Instead of being ta, ti, tu, te, to, as you might expect from the previous lessons, it's actually ta, chi, tsu, te, and to. So we'll go over those again and then we'll practice reading and writing them and move on to the N line with its na, ni, nu, ne, no. Alright, so taking a look at the T line, just pull out my pen here. Start with ta, as usual. It's a horizontal stroke and then a vertical stroke with two horizontal lines here. As you can see, it actually looks very much like the romanized version ta over here. So we have ta, and that makes it nice and easy to remember. Stroke, stroke, there we go. Again, across, down, two horizontal. Right, next we have chi, and it's actually the reverse of the sa that we learnt yesterday. So we go across, then down, and then a loop. So, down, loop. Remember it's two strokes, so lift your pencil between the two. And I remember this with chi as in cheerleader, and think about it as a cheerleader kicking. That would be the leg down there. So chi for cheerleader. Next we have tsu. So that's a bit of a hard sound to make. Try it with me. Tsu. Alright, we do this one. This is a single stroke. And it's just around like that. Oh, that's a bit square. It's a bit harder on a computer to do it nice and rounded. But it's just a rounded shape like that. Tsu. So, the way I remember that one is it looks a bit like a human nose. If you imagine an eye and a mouth, it could be almost a human face. So I think about tsu as in atsu. Yes, I know, it's a bit of... But yeah, tsu. Alright, next we have te. Now te is another one stroke kanji. Just go around, down and then around, across and then around, across and around, across and around. So one stroke, and it looks much like a tennis net, so I remember that with the imagery te as in tennis. And if you can imagine, that's the racket handle there, and then the racket head there. Looks a bit like a tennis racket. So te for tennis. Lastly we have to. We do one stroke there, and one around like this. One down, one around, one down, one around, one down, one around. Oh, that's a bit far apart there. That last one's a bit ugly. Let's try that again. That's a bit better. I remember to as in it looks a bit like a human toe with like something sticking in it. So ouch, I have something in my toe. Or to. Remember the pronunciation is to. So we have ta, chi, tsu, te and to. Now if we move over the N line, na is one of the more complicated characters we'll learn today. Start with a horizontal stroke and then down through it. Then we draw a third line and then a fourth line over here. So again, see, out of order, and my kanji got a bit wider and less sightly there. Alright, let's try that again. Third line, fourth line. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, I remember this one if you're familiar with some Christian churches. Looks like a bit of a cross and someone kneeling. So na as in none. And I think about it, you know, someone is praying. So na. Alright, na for none. Alright. Next we have ni. Ni's quite easy. It's one stroke down, two strokes across, and it looks exactly like a human kneecap. Well, maybe your imagination's a bit different to mine, but that looks like a knee to me. So we go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we have a knee. Ni, 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 ni. Alright, ni. Alright, third we have nu. It's one stroke down and around with a little tail on it there. We go 1, 2, 1 stroke, and the second is all 1 stroke. So you go 1 stroke there, 2 strokes there. Alright, I remember this one. It looks almost like in Japan they've got bowls of ramen noodles. They're delicious. Looks like a bowl of noodles with some chopsticks in it. So I think nu is in noodles. So say it with me, nu. Alright, next up we've got nest. It's 1 stroke down, then a bit of a zigzag stroke with that same tail motion on it. So, there we go. 2 strokes, your pen comes off the paper and back down. So ne as in nest, and if you've got an imagination, maybe you can see a bit of a tree trunk there and a bird's nest. That's how I like to remember it, ne as in nest. The last one we have today is another 1 stroke kanji, a 1 stroke hiragana. We go down and then around. And this one's pronounced no, but I remember it with the memory hook no. Looks almost like a no smoking sign, if you can imagine, like a cigarette there. So, no. We go down and around, down and around, down and around. And I remember no as in no smoking. So we have na, ni, nu, ne, no, and ta, chi, tsu, te, to. So say them with me. It's important that you pronounce and practice pronouncing these. It will really help you later on when we go to speak in more complex sentences to have the right pronunciation. So ta, chi, tsu, te, to. Then we have na, ni, nu, ne, and no. Alright guys, I hope that was helpful for you. Tomorrow we'll have another lesson with a few more lines. We'll be covering the ha, the H line, and the M line. So ha, hi, hu, he, ho, and mami, mu, me, mo. So I hope you'll join us for lesson number 4. Take care guys, have a great night.